All right. So filling in again for Ken today. Let me share my screen real quick. So I'll jump in today and I'll kind of open it up for questions, things that we want to learn about, talk about. Is there anything in particular people are having questions about with the compliance side or anything that I can help out with? What are you guys hoping to see today? What can I show you that will be cool, will be worth your time today?
Garrett, I can share what is usually missing maybe on the listing reviews.
Let me give you the power.
Oh, well,
Or do you
sort
want
of hard. It's sort of hard to show it that way. But just in general, when they submit, maybe you can go into a listing. Do you have a listing? So the main thing is, number one, if you have a land listing, the instructions that Ken gives is to put the APN or the assessor parcel number in either the command name or if you go in where Garrett's going on the right-hand side, where Garrett is, where it has 4E Street, put the APN number there. And that's important because when we go to search for, to go review, if at the top, there's no reference whatsoever to an APN, we don't know if it's Mr. Smith's property or Mr. Smith's listing. We only know it as the APN. So it needs to be either there at the address line to the right where Garrett was pointing, or in your opportunity name. And that's a lot of help.
That's where you would do it.
Yeah. And then if you would go to like documents. And Garrett was going to, like in this one, it's a residential property, but you know, there's a pull down list and you can select that it's a land sale instead. It'll give you a land sale checklist. And the required items will be there on that checklist for you. One of the things that I'm seeing a lot of is there's not an MLS printout put in. Everything else may be there, or there may not be a property profile. This, Garrett, number one, if you're going to hold the property off market, we need the SELM, but we also need this filled out as well. And this is our own KW sheet. And the way Garrett got to that was just by clicking on the name. So click out of that. Yes, you just click on that link right there. If it's going to be off market for, according to Gavar, more than 24 hours, then they need the SELM and we need the KW exclusion. So we know why it's not there. And when I review the listing, if the listing date on the contract does not match or there's no MLS printout, then I'm asking for an SELM or putting the information in under 109 SELM that has the Gavar rule in regard to that. So that's great.
And this isn't, guys, this isn't us just trying to punish you or anything like that. It's just to help you not get fined from Gavar.
Exactly. I see Gloria got on. maybe there's a question.
Gloria, did you have any questions we could address? Just wanted to see my pretty face. Oh, hold on, there's chat. Nope, she's good. Okay. All right, well, if there's no real questions, if everyone's just kind of jumping in to kind of see command a little bit, what I will do then is show you maybe a few shortcuts, things to make things a little easier when you're using command. So one of the common things agents we use is we have car. We log into our car forms, right? This is where we go get our documents. I could sign in. This is where I access all my car forms that I pay the California Association of Realtors for. Let me log into here real quick. All right, let me jump into this one as an example. So a lot of this is where we all know how to do this. Hopefully, if you haven't done any documents yet, this is where you log in to get your car forms. A lot of times you'll have to make a file. I am now within the file. If you see at the top, there's documents. These are all documents that I've had to pull out, right? There's a lot of different options that you could do. You could find all your forms here, but either we could save these documents or we could also send them out to be signed from here as well. Agents do different things depending on what they want. Some people like to use DocuSign or their other program within Command, which is great. Some people like to use the signing option, the e-sign right here. For example, this, let's use this addendum number 3. You see there's no names in here. I could hit the e-sign. I could send this over to be signed, right from here. Well, the cool thing is we could connect this within Command if we want in our DocuSign, where we could quickly pull these documents into Command for review. So if we use this to be signed, so let me go back into Command real quick. Let me show you how we could connect those to pull those documents into here. So you'll see here at the top right, we have go to transaction. This is what logs you into your DocuSign where you can have things signed. You'll see here it asks for my email address, my login, and it'll ask for my password. And I'll do that. And if you have a DocuSign account, like I had a personal account, you always want to make sure you do the Keller Williams account because that connects to Command. Now within here, you'll see that I'm in my 4A Street. I have no documents currently in here. I have no envelopes out to be signed. It's just a blank room. So let me show you how I could connect my car forms, which is here, my zip forms, this area, with DocuSign. So you'll see here at the very top, we have an add button, and you'll see you have computer. So if you want to pull any documents from your computer, which is a great way to do it if you want, you don't have to do it this way. From DocuSign forms, from zip forms, then Box, Google Drive, Dropbox. So we're going to click on zip forms, right? So you'll see here, it says before adding items to zip forms, you must link the existing transaction. I have already logged in, but you'll have to log into your zip forms login, but I've already done that. So now I'm going to go find, it's in alphabetical order. What did I name that? I think it was Nicole. There it is. And I could hit link. So what this has done is linked my zip form with my DocuSign. So you'll see here now I could click here. I have a zip form library. I could grab any documents from the zip form library. If I want to see, if I want to grab an addendum, I could, for some reason I can't scroll down. So first, my zip form library, if I want to look at all the car forms, there's all these car forms I could bring over into here if I want. Any car form that I could find in zip form, I could now find in here if I so chose. The next thing I could do is link transaction. When I click link transaction, it now is connecting my DocuSign to my zip forms. So you'll see here I have a residential listing agreement, I have guide, I have an addendum signed, I have all these things signed already. So I could grab them all. I'm going to grab a couple so it doesn't take a really long time to upload. and I could hit add. So if I use car forms to have everything signed, I can now bring them over to here, and I'll show you why this program is pretty cool, why you'd want to do this. You don't have to do this. You could save them to your computer, do your whole thing. But you'll notice now I have all these documents here. Well, let's take my residential listing agreement, right? We know in my residential listing agreement, I need my AD, my PRBS, because it says required, my listing agreement, my seller's advisory, property profile, right? Well, as you've been doing this for a while, you know your residential listing agreement over in zip forms includes, let's open it up. It shows you right at the very top, this is your AD. Your first 2 pages is your AD, right? Then your next page is your FHDA. These are all almost everything that's required for your first listing. It all comes in one package, right? And now I have this signed. I need this to submit it, but it's all together. So I want to split this. So I could right click and then hit split, and it's going to pull all this up for me, right? You'll see it's loading up all these documents. If I hover over, it zooms in. If I'm not sure, you see it says car form AD. So I need the AD, and I could click. I know the first 2 pages are my AD, right? And now I can do add another document. What is this one? This one is my Fair Housing Discrimination Act. And that one's 2 pages. So I go Fair Housing Discrimination Act, FHDA. Click. This next one is the PRBS. Add a document. PRBS. Click. This next one is the wire fraud agreement advisory. Wire fraud advisory. Click. This one is the RLA, the actual listing agreement, residential listing agreement. I click. Add another document. This one is my seller's advisory. I click. And my last one is my CCPA. All right, and I clicked. Now I hit save. Now I just took that 12-page document, and now I've added it. Now they're all split up easy for me and ready to put into command. So here's what makes this really quick and fast and nice. I could click back into command. Right here, you'll see I have an attached multiple files. I could click here. Right here, it says manually attach, and that means I would click each one and add them to my computer, or I could go into my DocuSign account, which I just did, and I could go through and quickly add them. You see, I already have them in here, but let's pretend I didn't. I didn't have my AD. Let's pretend this is AD, even though it's already here. I could click here, go to AD. Now it's in here. And then let's pretend the Selma or the Selm was something I needed. It was my, let's pretend it was my PRBS. I could come down here, go to my PRBS. There we go. And when I attach them all, I click attach. Now they're all going to be loaded in. Now you'll see they're over here. Loaded in, ready to rock. So once I have all the documents I have back signed, I could quickly link the account in my DocuSign. Now I don't have to. I could just save them to my computer and then upload them. It's just much easier. I could grab all the documents I need, split them, name them, whatever I need to make them easy to find, then come in here and load them all in at once. Once I do that, I hit submit to Market Center. So I could upload all this within 10 minutes and make it very simple for me to move on. Now, the first time you do this, it's complicated because you're like, what the heck is a PRBS, or what the heck is a WFA? Once you do it once, you understand what those documents in, you see them all the time, it's quickly able to put them in there. Any questions on that little section right there?
Thank you for showing that, Garrett. I don't think I ever saw a demonstration like that. Thank you.
Yep, it's a nice little shortcut. It's a nice little quick way to jump in here. I personally, because I teach this and I know it, but I personally made myself not get a TC on purpose on a transaction not too long ago, just to see the time it took. Now you still have to deal with the other agent getting stuff back and signed, but I did everything within command. I pulled in all my documents into here. And then let's pretend I wanted to send these off for signature because I didn't get them signed in my other form. You could go to envelopes and you can do a new one. And you could add all the documents you need to use. Let's pretend I want this one, this one, this one, or whatever, right? You selected all the documents that I needed. And then I added my participants. I added the people that needed to be send them. And then I added all their signatures into the spots and sent everything out to be signed. I was able to do all my compliance that used to take me. I used to do it myself. I used to not pay a TC for some crazy reason when I was doing real estate full time. And it would take me, I would say, about 4 hours on SkySlope, our previous system. I was able to do everything probably in an hour and get it all back and put it and submit for review. Very, very simple once you do it and understand it. It just takes time to learn, if that makes sense. Bear with me real quick while I clear out my changed opportunity here because I submitted more work for us to do. Oh, never mind. We're good. Never mind. Okay, so that's that. That's all I wanted to show you guys today. It's just a quick little thing on how to jump into DocuSign and how to make it quicker and faster for your documents. I have all these videos. Ken submits these. I have videos of training. I think Ken's maybe even updated it where I go through and I do it slowly where you can follow along. There's also some on YouTube if you want to go through and do it a little slower. But that's all I got today. That's all I was going to show. Since no one has any questions, I guess we'll call it a little early unless someone else has something to add or to ask.
I will just supplement one thing on a listing. You don't have to hit the submit button. Don't waste one of your submits on the listing review. Just leave it as open.
And we may come back to that soon where that we will look as an office, we're looking at making things easier for everybody. Just future reference that may, we'll relook at that where it says submit up here right now. You don't need to do anything for the first section as we review it. Just get the under contract and hit submit. So keep in mind, we're fluid with trying to make this as easy for you guys as possible and quick as possible as well. All right. Thank you, everybody. I believe I'm doing it again next week. We'll probably look at maybe doing the CDA portion, and if there's other questions, we'll go from there.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Thanks, Garrett.